Welcome everybody to another Apex Academy video. In today's video, we're going to be continuing our series. We've had a lot of parts to this series, a lot of episodes, and you can see here we have the full playlist actually in front of us for the series, and it's all about focused on building a high converting Shopify theme, but not just building it, but understanding why we do certain things that we do in terms of actually creating the shop, the store, right? Now, if we go over here to Shopify, let's just go ahead and kind of take a look at some of the things that we've been working on and some of the things that we've updated and things that we've been taking a look at for the past few episodes. So, if you remember, when we created the first episodes, I had this kind of normal setup to it, right? And I wasn't kind of challenging myself creatively. I was setting up the normal split banners, the normal product grids, and then somewhere around, I think the fourth or fifth episode, I decided to change some things, which is where this Masonry banner came into place, right? This banner that you're seeing in front of you. Now, this banner, guys, that you're seeing in front of you, this setup here, is a setup that is specifically for our Shopify theme, where we use it to kind of catch people's attention, throw a wrench in the system, make things a little bit different than what we're seeing. All right. So basically, what we're doing here, and you could see here, obviously, we haven't, worked on the finer details, for example, like text and things like that. But it's all about looks. It's all about how attractive something is, right? And when something looks attractive, it tends to perform better from an e-commerce conversion rate standpoint, right? The more sales you get, the better your business does. So why do I even mention that, and why do I even care to talk about that? Well, the reason why I mention these topics when I talk about conversion optimization, tracking, and things like that is because use it as a reminder, right? I mention it as a reminder. Conversion optimization should be your number one focus. And one of the things that are critical behind conversion optimization is having plenty of options. And I wasn't able to create a banner like this, a banner system, without having, plenty of options. And that's why every theme is created differently. This theme that I'm using, it's called the Alpha Wolf theme. If you're familiar, it's the Wolf of Shopify Alpha theme. This is their newer theme that costs $295. This is the theme that we're currently using. Now, we could use the Wolf of Shopify theme. There'd be nothing wrong with it. I just decided to create a series because we haven't talked about this enough, right? So, just to recap, we've edited some stuff on the homepage. We've added some product collections here. We've added some carousel product tabs, right? We've talked about the benefits as to the carousel product tabs, why they're so important, right? If you haven't seen those videos, make sure you go back into the series and watch those videos and why we talk about the benefit of them, right? I don't want to kind of keep repeating myself, but we worked a little bit even on the product page. We talked about, the importance of having trust badges and how to properly set up trust badges, right? The trust badge that you're seeing in the image here or on the website is not an ideal trust badge, and I've talked about reasons behind why that is. It's important that you go watch our past episodes for that. And I've talked about kind of how to set up a trust badge, what information you want to include within a trust badge. All these things matter when it comes down to optimizing your conversion rate. See, the problem that a lot of people kind of get into today is they see maybe a tutorial or a course or something like that of someone setting up a store a certain way, and they decide to copy it, but they don't talk about why, right? They don't understand why, why they copy certain things, and, the essence gets lost in translation, right? And that essence is the very reason why people convert. They end up purchasing a product. Now, think of the word convert or conversion, right? Or conversion optimization. When somebody converts, let's look at it from a religious perspective, right? When somebody switches religions, that's a very deep thing. That's a very, very, it's a very important thing, but it's very, it's close to the heart. It's something that takes a lot for somebody to do, right? Imagine if somebody was going to become a Christian and they were once a Muslim, or, maybe they were Jewish once and now they're becoming a Muslim. These are things that are deep in an individual. Maybe they've grown up a certain way, a certain religion, a certain ideology, right? Well, we're doing essentially the same thing, just in a different kind of view, where we're getting people to convert, right? We're getting people to convert from leads, viewers, page visitors, to customers, right? And in order to get them to convert, to cross that bridge from side A to side B, or side B to side A, right? Or that part in the funnel, we have to essentially give them we have to create a deep effect on our consumers. And sometimes part of that deep effect is how beautiful or how attractive the web page is, whether it be the home page, the product page, etc., right? Another aspect of that is how successful the photography is. How attractive is the photography? A good example of this is when we were creating the Alpha Elite store, right? A lot of the images are done very well. Highly skilled photography. I had a comment a few weeks ago of somebody saying, you show stores created with, professional photography. Why don't you use stock photos? And to me, it doesn't really make sense why you would use a stock photo, because a stock photo doesn't reflect or doesn't show the product that you're selling, assuming that we're talking about physical products. So, for example, if I'm selling headphones, why would I, with a certain brand on them, why would I take a stock photo of somebody else's headphones and sell them? It doesn't make sense, right? I want to sell the products that belong to me, that I'm selling, right? So that's why stock photos aren't beneficial, in my opinion at least. And that's why I want to say to people, if you're building a business, you have to invest. You have to invest in things like photography, right? If you're not a photographer, you can hire somebody, you can learn, right? And these are one of the things that make people purchase. It's good content. I remember when I was building my clothing store, my very first clothing store, my real business, right? It took me money, and I thought I could get away with not investing in high-quality photographers and things like that, but boy, was I wrong. I invested in photographers. I learned how to shoot photos myself. I learned how to edit photos, right, on Adobe Lightroom, things like that. I learned how to do these things because I had to invest. Now, speaking of investing, people are going to ask me, how do I get this theme, or what theme is this? This is the Alpha Wolf theme. If I haven't already said it, this is the Alpha Wolf theme, and we've been using the Alpha Wolf theme for the whole series, and it's the series that we're going to continue to use. Now, if you want to use a discount code, you can use code WARRIOR. It will be in the links in the description box down below. Make sure you read the description box, because that's where the discount code is. And you can go ahead and purchase the theme by clicking on this Alpha Wolf theme page, and it might take you right here, or you can simply go over here and click add to cart, and it will take you to the checkout, right? But if you decide to go this route, just enter the promo code right here, use code WARRIOR, and you'll get $25 off your purchase. Now, back to our topic of conversation that we have going on here is, how can we improve this web page? Not all web pages need to be extremely complex, especially when you have a lot of products for sale. See, we have to get intelligent and smart about how we're going to, or how we already segmented our products. See, we have segmented a lot of products. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the products we have. In this case, we have leggings, we have shorts, we have crop tops, right? We have more shorts, clearly, but for females, and we have t-shirts. Let's just say these are the categories of products, right? Whether it's male or female is currently irrelevant. Well, if we look at our actual store and how it was created, we have the banners here to represent all that, right? And so this is kind of the content that we're going to use to drive attention that these products exist, right? So we have, for example, a short here that's being featured. So let's go ahead and click on this collection, and let's kind of rename it to women's shorts. Right? So women's shorts. Let's say this is the crop top image, right? Well, let's go ahead and click on that image and change the text to women's crops, right? So crops, right? I don't have to write crop tops, just women's crops for now. Okay? Here's a picture of a female and two males. So I'm just going to click, I'm going to kind of rename this to Shop All. Now remember, guys, it's important to be flexible with the way you're labeling things, the way you're creating things. We want to have imagine that you're tossing a net into the ocean. You want to capture a lot of the different demographics, especially with a brand like this when we're talking about Alpha Elite, right? Alpha Elite Athletics. They got demographics. Yes, there is a consistent demographic of consumer. We're talking about somebody who probably is from the age of maybe 19 or 18 all the way up to maybe 39, 35, fit, or goes to the gym or is inspired by the gym. Whether it's male or female is kind of irrelevant, but values the gym in some kind of way, values their workouts and the way they look, right? So that's kind of part of our consumer avatar. Well, in that case, we have a wide range there. We could have older females, we have younger females, right? We could have younger adults, skinny males, maybe a little bit bulkier, like a more muscular male shape. So with that being said, there's going to be a few categories here, right? So here, for example, we're featuring a hoodie. We can go ahead and, call it men's hoodies, right? So let's go ahead and do that here instead of men's collection, but men's hoodies. And these are some things that you guys are going to want to do when you're editing your store, all right? Men's collection here, we have this stringer, so we can just label it men's tops or men's stringers, right? Kind of how you want to do it. Now, in the case of the actual collection matching up to, or the image matching up to the actual collection, it's probably not going to happen because we added a certain level of products. Had we had more time to sit there and add product after product after product, that might be ideal. But for here, I'm kind of just showing how we want to kind of edit the text here. Here we have women's leggings, for example. Let's just go ahead and clearly the focal point of this image is the leggings, right? So let's label that women's. Let's go ahead and clear this out. Women's leggings, right? So our labeling here is kind of taken care of. And notice something that I just want to say is, notice our logo here, our menu bar, our search, USD, all this kind of stuff. In the last few episodes, I failed to mention this, but I did change the colors. And I didn't just change it based on preference, but I changed it based on importance. Had I changed it to, let's say, a full white, right, like a pure white, when somebody, and you guys know I like to have sticky banners, when I scroll down, if it was all white, nobody would see the menu button, right? Nobody would see the menu icon. But if it was black, then it wouldn't look very, very clear in these darker images on the top here, especially this one, right? So sometimes you're going to have to find a compromise in colors of what you're going to choose for your menu bars. Remember that every button that you have has to be very clear to your shoppers, to your customers, to your viewers of your web pages, of your Shopify stores, is that every button needs to be very, very clear so that when a consumer sees a button, they click on it, because one of the rules to getting high conversion rates on your Shopify stores is decreasing friction. Decreasing friction. Guys, memorize that. Decreasing friction leads to increasing conversion rates. Now, what is friction? Friction is very, very simple. It's when you make things harder for the customer, even if it is such a small change in the website. Even if you think, wow, it doesn't really make it that hard, everything affects sales on a larger basis. Don't we all here want to create hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars in Shopify? We all do. Well, you have to, even if you're not doing that now, from, in this time of the game, you have to prepare like you're going to do it. And that's why you have to be very meticulous with every little aspect. And it's very simple. If you're not confident about a certain decision, it's okay. Make the decision and keep it in mind for future split testing. Now, what is split testing? What is A/B testing? It's very simple. Okay? For the case of Shopify, if you want to do this for free, you're going to have to get like maybe a notebook or something, but write something down, right? Or take a picture, screenshot of how it currently is. Wait a few months, see the conversion rates, see the sales. Then write down what you're changing, write down what it was, make the change to the website, take screenshots, and now see the new conversion rate. But it has to be one simple change. It cannot be multiple changes, because if you change multiple changes, then you're dealing with multiple variables. In any good experiment, we need to change only one variable and see the results, right? And then you kind of go back in time, you go to your analytics and you take a look, how have things changed? And then from there, essentially everything will be verified whether it is a good change or a bad change, right? So when we speak of having different options with our Shopify theme, it's important to realize what kind of Shopify theme you have. Not all Shopify themes create as many options that we have here with the Alpha Wolf theme. Okay, so when we refer to wolfofshopify.com, the Alpha Wolf theme, it gives us significantly more options than the options that other themes may offer. So, for example, Shopify sells themes. There's some professional themes. They charge about $180. You're looking at limited options with themes like that. Okay, now that's just my opinion. I'm not here to battle or rally for Shopify or anything like that, but there are different creators to different themes that are better than others, right? So one of the sections here that we have is this shop by category section, or block text categories. And basically what this is a place where you can essentially tell people the 4 main categories of your business. If you notice here, I have 4 main categories. I have women's, men's, accessories, sale off sale, doesn't really matter. We're going to change all this text here in a minute. But what this section here is we can't add any more than 4. So this would be a good idea is if you could think to yourself, if you want to use this feature, right? And by the way, guys, to add these features to your store, you just go simply here to this add section button, right? It's above the footer button. Hit add section and look for the kind of the one that you're talking about. But in this case, we're talking about block text categories. Look for that specifically. Block text categories, you will find it. Now, with these block texts, ask yourself, can you segment your products, your business, your stores, or your store into 4 main categories? Okay? Well, let's think about the products that we have. We have leggings, we have women's shorts, we have women's tops, we have men's shirts, which are tops, and we have men's shorts. Well, I could think of 4 perfect categories right now, right? Let's work on that. So we have women's tops. This is an example. And we have men's tops. Men's tops. And what we're going to do from a UX standpoint is we're going to drag men's tops above women's. Okay? Typically, it's just the natural order of things. Not being sexist, not being masculinist or feminist. Just the order of things for men to go first in an e-commerce perspective, okay? If you got a problem with that, simply take it up with the, creative UX designer gods, okay? Accessories. We're gonna have the men's right under the men's. So the next product is men's bottoms, right? So men's bottoms, okay? And here we have women's bottoms. So you see how everything is succinct and everything is clear and everything is easy to read, right? Men's top, men's bottoms. Women's tops, women's bottoms. Okay? You can call this, the anatomical position of UX UI design, but everybody would argue that this is how it's supposed to be designed. All right? So you could take it up with the gods of UX and UI design. But anyways, let's go ahead and talk about here what this says. It says 180 items, 345, whatever. If you want to write how many different items you have, okay, I would add an S to all these. But if you want to write how many, essentially you have in stock, how many different types of products, how many different variations, you can write that down right under the main product name. Okay, here we can have a little piece of text. And by the way, to edit this section that you're looking at right here, you want to click on this block text categories and you want to go over to the right. Okay, so block text categories is the main. Then you want to go over here to the right. And notice how it says shop by categories. And then it says all this, I guess you can say pre-holder or placer text, right? We can edit this text. And you can edit this text any way you want to edit. I'm going to leave it the way it is. Okay, but essentially, you want to explain to consumers what they're able to shop by, what categories, right? You want to tell them, something catchy, something clean, something, shop by, shop our latest and greatest, men's, tops and bottoms for both men and women. Something like that. Something small, something self-explanatory. Just leave it, kind of like that. Now, I'm going to recommend something from a design perspective. If you're not going to have any text here, like if you're going to just pull one of these, then you remove the gray text here also, okay? But then it will look somewhat bare, so I kind of do recommend that you leave text there. Let's go ahead and refresh the page so the text reappears. because that's definitely not something I want to save. And I don't even believe that I saved the categories on the top. Okay, I did. But there you go. That's kind of how it looks, right? And this is an option to have, okay? An idea, and this is just another idea, guys, is if you have a ton of products, a lot of products, you can create 2 of these, 3 of these, 4 of these, etc. And for example, I've seen this in a hunting business, a hunting store. I'm not going to say what the store is named, but they were using this exact theme, the Alpha Wolf theme, and they had guns, they had crossbows, and they had fishing gear, right? And it said shop by fishing gear. And it had all these different types of categories within fishing gear, like lures, bait, rods, and I believe it was something else. I'm not a hunter or fisherman, so you guys kind of get what I'm trying to say here. The next one, it said shop by guns, right? And they had different categories of things for guns, like scopes or handles, or whatever they kind of sell, bullets, etc. Then there was another one, shop by, etc. And so these are the different categories. This is just another way that you can use these tools. And remember, we have a lot in our arsenal here. We have a whole bunch of different tools to use. I've said this simile before, but I'll say it again. You have to remember that when you create a Shopify store, right, your Shopify theme that you're using is a weapon that you're going in battle with. Because make no mistake, business is a battle. But you can either win or lose. And that's determined based on 2 things. Number 1, your weapon, how good your weapon is, and not only that, but how good you are. Right? If I'm a soldier going to battle and I have a dull weapon, but I'm very good in battle, I have high skills, yeah, I could survive, I could do well. But if I have the best sword in the world, right, and I have absolutely no skills, let's say I'm scared for my life, well, somebody's going to chop my head off in 0.2 seconds. So you have to have a good balance between knowing how to use the theme that you have, but also having a good theme, because the theme is your weapon. Does that make sense? So you have to be skillful on editing, and editing your Shopify theme, applying the right features and designs and things like that. But then on top of that, you have to have the right theme available to you. So one of the benefits to a theme like this is that we have so many different, I guess you could say, features, categories, settings, that we can essentially present our business in a different light. So for example, I'm not happy with the way this newsletter thing looks. So let's just simply delete it. Let's just go over here to newsletter. Let's get rid of this thing. And the way we do that is we click right here on the newsletter, then we take our mouse, go over to the right side, and hit remove section. Now, the reason why I'm by the way, guys, a little side note, the reason why I'm talking step by step like this is because Shopify 2.0 is relatively new to us as a Shopify community. We've been using Shopify 1.0's UX design for years now. I would say a little bit past its inception. We've been using that same UI. Now everything has changed. So sometimes it could be a little confusing. So I'll be the helping hand to help you guys through that. Now, let's look for the different newsletter sections we have here. So we have blog and newsletter. Let's go ahead and click on that and see how it looks. So we have a newsletter section. We have some blog sections. I actually really like this one, but for the sake of the video, let's just go ahead and delete it to look at some of our other options. We have blog testimonials. We're not looking for blogs, so let's go ahead and scroll down. Let's hit the show more button. These are the different sections, right? We have block list, we have featured collections, we have banners, we have clients, like clients say is like a testimonial section, guys. And then finally here we start hitting the gamut of newsletters. So let's click show more again, just in case if there's more newsletter buttons down there. And we have here left banner and newsletter. Then we have new newsletter, newsletter. Then we have newsletter and testimonials, newsletter background. I'm going to go with left banner and newsletter. So the thing that I like about this part, and this is pretty cool, it is just another way to get sales. So let me explain. Here it says get 30% off for newsletter. What are newsletters for? Let's talk about newsletters real quick. Newsletters are for you and the consumer to have a micro agreement touch point. Now that's a whole lot of jargon. That's a whole lot of words. What is a micro agreement touch point? So let's first break down touch point because that's more simple. When you have a touch point to a consumer, you have a place where you can communicate with a consumer. You can reach the consumer. Okay? Now, what is a microagreement? A microagreement on a very small scale is when a consumer is essentially doing what you want them to on a very small scale without paying money. So, for example, if you get somebody to opt into a newsletter, an email newsletter, that's on some level a microagreement. If you get somebody to buy a low ticket offer, that is a microagreement. It's a larger microagreement, but it's a microagreement. Okay? Now, why do microagreements matter and how do they benefit you? Well, I think they're going to benefit you based on the information that I'm about to tell you. A lot of marketers, the Neil Patels, the Tony Robbins, the Stephen James, all these different guys, what they do is they create micro agreements on a larger scale and consistently getting larger and larger. Even Dan Locks. Some people may call this a scam. Other people may say, it is what it is. Let me explain what it is. I'll teach you the marketing, guys. You guys discern whether it's a scam or not. Okay? We all know that in order to get somebody to do something that you want them to do, you have to essentially make them feel comfortable with who you are, right? Well, the way business works is we create microagreements. So when we tell somebody, sign up for a newsletter, right? It's a microagreement on a smaller scale. These large entrepreneurs, like for example, Tony Robbins, they know that this level of psychological thinking is legitimate. So what do? They install that in their own businesses. Have you ever noticed where the first thing you see is an opt-in? Right? When you see that ad on YouTube or you see that ad on Google and you click on it and it's like some guy saying, hey, or for example, let's talk about Ty Lopez. Ty Lopez does the same thing. There was a video that says, hey, here in my garage, and he talked about knowledge and the books in his garage. You guys remember that video, that huge ad that played? Well, what he was doing was he was creating interest. Right after interest, right, which is a psychological cognitive bias. Right after the interest bias, what did he do? He created incentivization bias. He said, if you want to learn more, simply click the link, click the ad, whatever, and you'll be taken to my webpage so I can give you a free 45-minute presentation, whatever the case may be. Well, you clicking on that ad, that is a micro agreement. That is in some way you showing comfort, you showing stability towards that individual, emotional stability towards that individual. And the reason why I use the word emotional stability and why that matters is because are you going to trust somebody are you going to engage with or interact with somebody you don't trust? The answer is no, you're not, right? There's a reason why kids freak out when they see pedophiles. It's because they don't trust them, or they get this, weird feeling inside of them. Not to be funny, but to be very serious, we have this inherent emotion. Our gut tells us when something is up, something's wrong, right? And what these geniuses in marketing do is they make you create these small microagreements. So somebody like Ty Lopez, which some people might call a predator, I'm not going to call him a predator. When I say predator, I mean financially predatory, not in a other kind of means. But what they'll do is after they give you this free video, right, this free presentation, right, that you stayed for, by the way, is also a microagreement. They'll say, hey, if you want to learn more about this, buy my $7 course or $2 course or $1 course. And what that is you're creating another microagreement on another level, but now you're asking a little bit more. And what that is a low ticket offer, a low ticket offer. What is a low ticket offer? It is simply an offer for sale, a product for sale that is a very low price product that majority of people wouldn't say no to. Okay? And then the level goes higher and higher where it's a medium ticket offer and then a high ticket offer. And by the time you have a high ticket offer, you spend thousands of dollars on a course and you're willing to accept anything, right? That's how essentially microagreements work. Well, in this case, our goal is not to brainwash people or steal money out of their bank accounts, but we want to sell our products. And we know that psychology has to work on our side. And so something that we might want to do is create incentivization bias. Now, what is incentivization bias? We offer them something for something in return. Well, we want to get a sale. Well, if we want to get a sale, we're going to offer a huge discount, for example. So 30% off, right? This is just an example, right? It doesn't have to be 30% off. It could be whatever. So now you guys know how newsletters work. So many times I see people who don't have interesting businesses and say, hey, sign up to our newsletter. Now, it wouldn't be a problem if your business was interesting, right? If you just say sign up to our newsletter, that's really not much of incentivization unless you had an interesting business. But a lot of these people don't have interesting businesses. Nobody gives a crap about their business. And they say, sign up for our newsletter for our latest updates and news. Well, nobody cares about your latest updates and news because nobody cares about your business, right? But if we're talking about, let's say, Victoria's Secret saying, sign up to our newsletter, people are already interested because they love their products, right? Now, greater incentivization is when you offer something in return, reciprocity bias, when you're reciprocal in nature, when you give to get, right? Which is, in this case, a discount. So I notice here that the text is a little bit off, so let's go ahead and edit that. Remember, we go ahead and click left banner here, and we go over here to the right, and we edit the percentage. So it says here, get 30% off. The only time I would recommend if you do something ridiculous like 30% off is increase your prices, okay? But for the sake of the video, let's just keep it at 20% off. 20% off because the text here says 20. Let's go ahead and save our progress. Now, if we want to add here a banner, and this is pretty cool, is we can select an image to add as a banner. Well, let's look at some of our pictures. We have this image, we have this image, we have this image, right? We have all these different images. This image might not be appropriate. This image. We have a whole bunch of different images. Okay, and by the way, I'm not, once again, being sexist or anything like that. The reason why this image is not appropriate because it doesn't show any product for sale. People don't know what what is this image? Nobody knows that, which is another thing, guys. When you're creating banners, create something that is appropriate, not from a means of promiscuity, but from a means of something that's appealing to consumers. What the hell are they staring at? They got to see something that is meaningful. I like to use this banner, and the reason why I'm going to use this banner is because it gives a good example of the type of products here for sale. If we're offering 20% off on all products, then we could do that here. Now, something that we could also do after we select this is we can take a look at some of the text that's being said here, because this is not actually clickable, right? This little text here. It's not clickable. So what we can do is we can, remove some of the text, and we could literally just get rid of it. So let's go over here, and it says heading here, the span. Instead of sale up to, we could literally just get rid of this and get rid of this. And what it will be is essentially it's a banner, it's an image with a marketing tactic showing essentially, hey, you could buy our products that we're showing you in this banner at 20% off. Okay, so this is just another example. If I had let's say an all women's clothing company, I would get like a bunch of my models, like maybe 10 models in the same banner photo. And I would put them right here and have a discount right here and say, get 20% off all products. And that will be a huge incentivization to customers. Okay, so let's go ahead and save that. And I think that this is a little nice little gesture here. Now, something that I do like to do is I notice that this banner almost seems cut off in a way from the footer. It's almost stuck to the footer. I don't like that. I want some space. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to my right side, right? Remember that I have selected here on the left the actual banner. Go over here to the right side and look at the margin. This margin text here allows us to create spacing. So notice the form that says top right, bottom left, right, with dashes in between, and that represents the amount of pixels in between. Most of the time, it's really just for the top and bottom pixels. So we can create 0. I'm happy with the space between this and this, so I'm going to go with 0 pixels here, right? I'm going to type in another number, 0, for the right. For the bottom, I want to have, let's say, 30 pixels. So I'm going to write 330px, and then I'm going to write 0. And notice here the space now that just became. If I delete the 3, okay, it will go down, almost touching it again. But if I type in the 3, it will create some more space. Well, maybe I want a little bit more space. Let's type in 50. Let's see how that looks. What about 60? 60 looks pretty good. I'm happy with that. Let's go ahead and hit save. Okay, and very simple. Now, what's cool about this is whenever somebody, and this is what's cool about the Alpha Wolf theme, is that when somebody enters their email, they're now subscribed to the email marketing database in this marketing section for for Shopify. Now, Shopify has a free app where you can essentially email people, okay? And this is an example here. For example, you can email people abandoned cart, but they have an actual app. And let's go ahead and go over this app. I already made a video, guys, on this app, but let's just, once again, I already made a video, but let's just do it anyway. Let's take a look at the app, and let's just type in email, okay? Email. And we're going to hit this free button. Anybody who wants a free, easy-to-use email marketing system, download this app, Shopify Email, and use this app. It's free, it's easy to work, and it does the job. If you're not an expert, it does a great job to essentially reach out to your consumers, because that's at the end of the day what it's for. Now, I'm not going to install it here because you guys already seen a video of that. I have it on the YouTube channel, so go check it out. Now, let's break things down here. So we have our newsletter here. We have this testimonials thing. We really don't need this for now. I'll explain what testimonials are for in this video, and I'll end it at that because this is a 35-minute episode. But essentially, guys, before I even get to that, do you guys notice this product carousel tab, this button that says browse all products? It's almost on top of this banner. We're going to go ahead and hit the banner up, and we're going to add some pixels because I need a little bit more space than that. So let's type in 10px, and now we have a little bit of a gap. Let's just type in 30px. There we go. We got a little bit more space. I'm happy with that. Now, let's talk about testimonials. If it's a product like a clothing product, guys, that is a commodity. Pay attention to what I'm saying here, guys. A commodity. When I say a commodity, we all know what it is. It's a regular resource, okay? You can buy it from anywhere. You can buy it from Walmart. You can buy it from... Basically, what my point is, do you see this gym clothing? Yeah, it's a nice gym clothing. But I could buy gym clothing almost identical to Under Armour, to Lululemon, to all these other stores out there that sell gym clothing. Maybe Fabletics. I mean, the list goes on and on of clothing brands that are gym related, right? Therefore, this product, we can consider it or classify it as a commodity. In that case, since the product is kind of non-exclusive like that, we're not going to have the ability necessarily to target based on testimonial or use testimonial to target leads to become conversions, to become sales. Now, why is that? Testimonials are best used for products that are extremely exclusive, that you can only buy from one area. What do I mean by one area or one person? Well, for example, if you hire a marketing agency, you can only hire that specific agency to provide their specific product. You can hire a different agency too, but they're not going to provide the exact same product as somebody else will. There will be some kind of change to it. So as a general rule, when you use testimonials, use them for a product that's extremely exclusive. Now, what's a good example in the clothing world of somebody who can use testimonials? Well, for example, if you bring something new to the market, are you guys familiar, or you guys remember this brand of clothing where you would have a t-shirt, and when your sweat would go on the t-shirt and your t-shirt would be fully sweaty, there would be this text that appears, like magically appears on the t-shirt, that's like a motivational piece of text, and then once the t-shirt dries, the text disappears? Well, that's an example of a product that is extremely unique, right? You can't just find that in an Under Armour store. You can't just find that in an Alphalete store or Lululemon or Fabletics. These are different kind of products. In that case, you can add some testimonials, right? And say, hey, I love my product, etc. But if you add just testimonials falsely, and I see too many people doing this, where they just constantly just add things that they see that they think is going to work, but is not going to work for their specific business, you got to be aware of that, all right? So this is the end to today's video. We talked a lot about setting certain things up, setting the banners. More importantly, today's video was really a mind frame video, a mind frame shift video. And the reason why that matters, the mind frame shift videos, because I don't want you guys to think about, I'll add reviews just because somebody else is adding them, or that's the right thing to do, or I'll add, I'll create a banner this way, or I'll set up a Masonry banner just because somebody else did. No, I don't want you guys to think like that. I need you to think logically behind every aspect of design, okay? design is very important. That's why there's a whole career behind this. So I could talk I feel like I talked enough in this video. I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys tomorrow, where we upload videos every single day here on this YouTube channel. It's my commitment to you. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.